I guess the monitoring methods that have proven most useful for monitoring post-eradication outcomes have really been a range of methods. We've used everything that's available to us. And in many ways, some of the methods have been determined by what was being used before the eradication took place. Because if you're familiar with monitoring, you need to be able to replicate results. And we're looking to demonstrate that it was the eradication that's had the result that we're interested in measuring. So we've had to use similar methods to be sure that the outcomes that we're measuring are actually what we think they are. So we've used a lot of traditional methods such as photography. We've had a lot of landscape scale photography of vegetation, particularly a lot of the coastal slopes around Macquarie Island, which were heavily impacted by rabbit grazing. Done annual photography of those areas ever since the eradication took place, and it's conclusively demonstrated an incredible rebound in the growth of the tall tussock vegetation and the Macquarie Island cabbage and the pleurophyllum and all of the other tall megaherbs that people know from Macquarie Island. There's also been more specific vegetation monitoring that was undertaken before the eradication occurred, and that was vegetation plots, transects, where you're covering a small area and looking specifically for individual species in those areas. And the monitoring since the eradication has shown that there's been very good recovery using that technique as well. In terms of monitoring seabirds and marine mammals, many of the marine mammals were not really affected by the eradication. They've been influenced by other factors, so they haven't been so much of a focus, but seabirds in particular, burrow nesting seabirds, were very heavily impacted by rabbits, rats and mice, and we've noticed a recovery of some of the key species, and the methods that have informed that have been doing burrow inspections using burrowscopes, basically a camera on the end of a long flexible hose, so you can check for presence or absence. That's demonstrated recovery in some of the most impacted species. There's also been some innovative work done using sound recorders so that you can try and detect species that are a little bit more difficult to detect, or maybe more cryptic, or may in fact not actually be breeding on the island yet, but they may be visiting and potentially become breeding species in the future. So there's been a whole range of monitoring techniques that we've used, and it's been interesting in the sense that although many of the changes have met our expectations, some have not, and they've changed in ways that we didn't necessarily anticipate.